This programme is brought to you by Vinny.co.uk.
Welcome back to the Champions League pool here on Free Sports. There is still so much to play for tonight. We've seen all four of our players now. 2 of them have wins, 2 of them have defeats, and it's our losses who go first up here in the second part of the show. And for both of these players, Simon, for David and for Chris, these are their odds right at the start of the night. This is a now massive match.
It is. 2 to qualify means it's not all over for both these guys. We saw in the first groups of this competition that once you lose that first match, it's a long way back. But both these guys know whichever one of them can manage to get the win in this match, they know they're still in with a very good chance of qualifying. And we've seen enough from both of them to know they're both playing well. David McNamara in his match felt like half a positional error was the only mistake he made. And other than that 8-ball going in for Chris and a bad break, he's played a pretty decent match himself.
Chris breaks dry, got a good split, but nothing down. Eight balls on the move again. And I have a feeling there might be another foul break there potentially, Simon.
Yeah, Chris really isn't happy with his break, and it's going to be, well, I think it is going to be a foul break, and that's 2 or 3 he's had so far tonight. It's really, for whatever reason, he's gone to the cut break and it's not really working for him. I'm used to seeing him break with the front ball break and break with such power. I'm a little bit surprised to see him do this, even though I know it's a great way of getting the 8-ball in motion. But when you can play the game to Chris's level, you think just stick with that normal break, hit them massive, make your ball and go take your chances from there. So I'm a little bit surprised, and it'd be interesting to see if he changes and goes back to a front ball break on his next opportunity.
Well, it's something we will ask him about when eventually we do get Chris through into the interview area. It'd be interesting to hear his thoughts. As we say, I don't think it's anything conditions-wise at this stage. We saw Dave and Sean break brilliantly, really, in the first match. Saw a couple of big hits from Michael too in the second. You can see a great break there from Dave, but just as luck would have it, it's come up dry. So Chris will be the man who gets the first opportunity in the first frame of this match. Reminder of the stipulations tonight: 2 from 4 will qualify through. This isn't a do or die match, not quite, but if one of these 2 were to lose it, it would require a pretty specific set of results to enable them to qualify through via a shootout. This will be a tough defeat to take for either Dave McNamara or Chris Melling. It's the quality, Simon, of a finals night, this, isn't it? That's the sort of standard we're dealing with here.
Oh, no doubt. Any of these 4 players, could easily walk away with the trophy, and it's important for whichever one of these 2 guys manages to get the win to set themselves up to try and make it through to finals night.
I'm interested to see what Chris chooses to do with the Reds here.
He looks like he's held straight enough on this one, so he wants to play on the one on the top cushion first, but it's a little bit congested at the top, so he needs 2 or 3 good positional shots here just to get out.
Yeah, he's held them beautifully, hasn't he? Should be all set for 1-0.
Had to drop it in absolutely dead weight. Had a little bit more angle on that ball than he really wanted. Would have loved to have been an extra roll straighter, but dropped it in at the perfect weight. And a very strange start to this match. That foul break from Chris Melling, followed by a dry break from David McNamara. And it is Chris Melling, even though he's had a foul break, that starts the match with a reverse dish. And we can go over to Stephen Jameson, who's just popped out to get a few words with Michael Hill.
Certainly have. Michael, congratulations on winning that pretty humongous battle. First match up tonight. Two of the greats. How did you enjoy it, first of all?
Yeah, no, it was good. It's always nice playing Chris because obviously we've grown up together. We're very similar in age. We practice a lot together as youngsters, and yeah, it's always a nice occasion. Obviously, there's a lot of mutual respect there. You know, I think he's one of the best players of all time, and kind of, if you can't really get up for that, even though I do struggle sometimes to get up for matches, then I really probably shouldn't be playing at all, you know.
And in terms of what you produced out there, do you think that sort of standard of match brought out a little bit more from you that we maybe didn't see in your group matches?
Well, I definitely felt a little bit more comfortable than I did last outing. I hadn't watched a lot of the groups prior to when I played. I actually sat down and watched a little bit last week, and I thought Neil Raybone and Aaron Davies played with a lot of composure. And I kind of thought, yeah, you know, they're not the quickest players in the world, so if they can get the job done and play as well as they did, then, you know, I'm just going to be that little bit more careful and just take a little bit of time, and maybe I've got a little bit more time than what I think, and, you know, not kind of rush around like a madman like I did the first week. I think with regards to, yeah, I mean, other than me taking the wrong set of balls when I was 3-1 up, I've took yellows and I should have took reds. Due to overthinking it or overcomplicating it, as I can do at times. Yeah, I played a pretty decent set, really.
And in terms of the issue that you talked about in the group stage, where I think you made one break out of 9 where you'd made a ball, obviously it seems to be working a little bit better for you this time around. What do you put it down to? I know you're experimenting around with different things.
Well, I mean, it was a little bit better. It weren't exactly amazing, like some of what I saw last week. I mean, you know, Neil Raybone was breaking them unbelievable. But no, I've actually met a guy who's an entrepreneur, shall we say, Steve. His name's Steve. So if you're watching, Steve Webb, and he's encouraged me to get on board with a breaking cue. We're just in the prototype at the moment, and we're actually calling it the Easy Breaker. So I'm quite interested to see how that will go. As I said, he's very passionate about it, Steve, and I'm looking forward to helping him see if we can get it out there. You know, once he's finally done. So, listen, you know, I'm gonna have to do something. I can't break an egg, can I?
Well, good to see you still evolving even after all these years, Mick. Best luck for the rest of the night.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Back to you, Simon.
Great to hear from Mick Hill. And whilst that interview was going on, we saw a very quick fire, and for a second time in this match, reverse dish from Chris Melling, made to look very easy. Very unfortunate, actually, for David McNamara with that break to be kicked in off in the way he did, because he actually hit the break incredibly well. A lot of balls moved and spread them far and wide, but unfortunately all that work was for Chris, and there was one very delightful little cannon in the early part of that frame where he had to go into a yellow and he double kissed it back out into the middle of the table as played, and from there he was perfect and finds himself 2-0 ahead as I'm rejoined by Stephen. And great to hear from Michael sounding in really good spirits.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed that last match, and I think he enjoyed it even more when he's got the victory. Someone who might not be enjoying life at the moment is David McNamara. He's now got his work massively cut out here. But as we saw, as Chris Melling hits a thunderous break, that is as good as he's hit one all night. Mentioned the cut break earlier, Simon. That's a return to the front ball break, and that is what we've seen Chris Melling do time and time again over the years. Yeah,
I was so surprised that he started away from it. I just expect him to break like that.
Red ball's in play.
You know, he's got one of, if not the best break I've seen. He's so powerful. There's a few players that I could sort of put in that bracket that can break as powerful as he can, but when you can do that, then, you know, why go away from it? I mean, you can argue about trying to, you know, chase a golden break, but he's so good after the break that if he makes a ball, it's, you know, gives himself a chance. He's so consistent, is just as likely as making a golden break by going for the cut break anyway.
Extension called.
Extension called.
Key shot here, because he's just a little bit thinner on this red than he would want to be, so he's having to come, in an ideal world it'd be straighter and he'd come down the table for the red in the triangle area, but now he may play for the one nearest the 8 ball into the bottom right, or he's going to come twice across. This isn't perfect. I say it isn't perfect. He's having a very good look to see whether he can get past the yellow. If he can't, then he's got the red to the centre, but it's the path of the cue ball that's the question mark with that shot. He's playing the one into the centre, and he's going into the 8 ball. Controlled to perfection.
Yeah, it was beautifully played by Chris Melling. And Dave McNamara here is going to have a mountain to climb, you feel. He certainly is.
Frame.
3 frames down after 14 minutes.
It's incredible, really, and you have to feel for David McNamara. He was really unfortunate in the way he lost the first match with that dry break in the deciding frame, and so far in this match, he's played 2 shots and both of them have been, well, 1 foul break, 1 dry break. It's a tough score out there.
Really is. And talking of tough schools, that's how each of our players tonight won through in their group stages here in the Champions League. Chris Day, Tom Price, Eddie Barker dispatched by Sean Storey. Dave McNamara won every match in his night against Craig Lake and Tony Blount and Carl Sutton. Chris Melling won through against the young gun Gio Edgar, Mike King, Hiton Patel, and then Mick Hill going through against Dylan Leary, Shane Thompson and Declan Brennan. Was, I mean, a sensational group of death to get through to round off the group stages. Dave McNamara has hammered that break. He's not made a ball. I couldn't on earth tell you how. And Chris Melling here has got a wonderful opportunity to win this 4-0. This might be one of the quickest matches we've seen, and Dave McNamara has done precious little wrong. He's hit that break a dream, and sometimes it's just meant to be, sometimes it isn't. And strange old game at times, isn't it? Really is. A cruel old game it can be too.
Yeah, and I guess for David and his supporters, it may look back at that first match and the opportunity that he had to go 3-0 up that he lost position on, and after that it's sort of gone against him. That dry break at 3-3, you know, that's going to really hurt him and cost him the first match. And then in this match, you know, he's had a dry break, a foul break, and now another dry break. You know, and you're playing against one of the best in the world who's gone reverse dish, break dish. It's tough to take.
It's so tough, isn't it? I mean, you could genuinely say that, I know we've said that it's not over till it's over, and Chris has worked himself into a little bit of trouble here. Might even be playing safe.
Yeah, just trying to move or go into that yellow just to open up that red, and wasn't able to do so on this occasion.
Well, relief then for Dave McNamara. It's not his final shot with his destiny in his own hands.
Extension call.
When you're playing your first shot in open play from a very awkward position, you're 3-0 down. It's just tough to take, it really is. Oh, what a try that is. But look at what he's left. Okay, Chris is thin on this red to the top left corner, but he can travel the white up and down the centre of the table, low to margin of error. He doesn't have to play it if he doesn't want to. He could go the other way and come back up there, but he is going to play it.
Dave McNamara trying his own magician act, but there can only be one. You talk about a tough school. Sorry, it doesn't get much tougher. I think I can count 1 error that David's made tonight. That positional error where he just overran the white against Sean. It cost him a frame. Might have ultimately cost him a victory in that match. 1 error in open table. But he's lost 2 matches. It is a tough one to take. It is a cruel old game. Chris Melling wins through 4-0 with 11.5 minutes left on the match clock.
It's incredible, really, and 2 things have to happen there. Chris Melling has to play great 3 finishes from the break, but David McNamara, you know, just look at the breaks there, 3 breaks. Obviously, he got to break off the foul break from Chris Melling, which is why it's 3, and 2 dry breaks and a foul break himself. And you know, he's not even attempted a pot, let alone miss a pot. You know, it's a tough one, but fantastic from Chris. What a way to respond to losing that first match, and it gets qualification back in his own hands as he goes into his 3rd and final match.
Yeah, massive win that for Chris Melling. And next up, we've got our 2 victors from the opening matches as Michael Hill takes on Sean Storey as this night continues to heat up.
This programme is brought to you by Vinny.co.uk.